So, David, the first place to start with would be Alexander Isak because that's the transfer that everyone's going to be talking about. And I wouldn't say noise has died down, but it certainly maybe relaxed a little bit after the frenzied reporting last week. What I did want to ask you is that we've seen lots of reports in the news about claims that Newcastle are going to offer Isak a new contract, that there's been interest from PIF owned clubs in Saudi Arabia. But where are we with this with Newcastle and Isak? Do you think that this is something that will get done as soon as, say, Newcastle sign Benjamin Sesko?
Yeah, so I think the key here is, and my latest information on this really is that Liverpool are just waiting for a green light to approach Newcastle firmly and kind of begin talks of any sort. As far as we're concerned at the moment, Newcastle is still saying not for sale publicly. That's the kind of stance, and not allowing Liverpool to build on their interest or do anything about it. But I think it's clear, isn't it, what is happening there, which is, this interest in Benjamin Sesko, obviously interest in Johan Wisser at Brentford as well. Newcastle are progressing with that and hoping to sign those two. And it's clear they don't want to have three strikers at the club. And I don't think Sesko is coming to kind of sit on the bench behind an Alexander Isak. So as much as Liverpool are waiting for the green light, I think they've been given encouragement that is going to come. But the key aspect is that Newcastle get those signings over the line, maybe not those two in particular, but some striker signings, and they have struggled so far this summer to get business done. So I think every Liverpool fan should maybe be kind of crossing their fingers that Newcastle can get deals over the line. And I think at the point that they get close to that and they've got assurances from the players and they believe that the finances are there to get it done, or the financial agreements, I guess, then Liverpool will be allowed to make a move. So that's the position we're in. And let's be honest, Liverpool aren't going into this blind. They know they're going to have to probably break the British transfer record to sign Isak, but they're fully prepared to do that. So, it's a little bit of a waiting game at the moment, really. It's waiting for Newcastle to get themselves in a position where they say to Liverpool, okay, let's talk about it. And as far as I know, that hasn't happened just yet. But there's a direction of travel there that is very obvious, I think. And like I say, I think everybody should be any Liverpool supporter should be a big fan of Newcastle's transfer activity at the moment and cheering them on as they try to get deals done for Sesko and Wisser.
So basically, Man United hands off Sesko and just
keep
Newcastle, really. But I did see reports suggesting that Liverpool might place a formal bid with Newcastle for Isak this week. I don't know whether you think that is premature because, as you say, it's kind of a case of waiting for Newcastle's business to advance and to be done. So are those reports not necessarily accurate?
I mean, perhaps there's some truth to that in the sense that maybe Newcastle are closer to Sesko than we know. But the key, as I say, is, and I haven't been told that this is the case yet, is that Newcastle have to give Liverpool some encouragement. They're not going to go in there with a blind bid. They're going to wait until Newcastle say that they're ready to talk about figures. And as I say, that hasn't happened yet, or as far as I'm aware anyway. So for it to happen this week, as I said, I think there'd have to be progress for Newcastle. And again, the reporting around that doesn't seem like Sesko's made his mind up. It seems like Brentford are digging their heels in a little around Wisser. So, but these things can move quickly once they do move. So, if we hear of a breakthrough with Sesko, then maybe a bid for Isak won't be too far behind that. But it doesn't feel like we're quite there yet. So might not be a firm move this week, but it's just a kind of wait and see situation, really.